Okay, great morning wisdom of the day. Well, today's thing is obviously about Kundalini, okay? The chakra system, which are layers of consciousness, okay? So when Kundalini opens, it starts as a very tight spiral at the base of the spine. That's what is said, the base of the spine. It starts as a tight spiral, but then it starts to uncoil. Okay, it starts to go round and round, is what it says, go round and round. But in this case, it starts to uncoil and starts to go up through the layers of consciousness. Okay. Of course, we have the different layers very quickly. We've got the first layer is survival, fight or flight. Okay, you have that. Next is like procreation, moving that things forward. We have the next is the personal powers. That's where one holds that personal identity, that they've constructed a separate identity that wants to, again, procreate, keep itself safe. As we move up, then we get to the heart center, where hopefully you start to developing some more compassion and empathy for people. Next, we move up to the throat of what you speak. Finding out that what you speak has merit, that it puts things out, so one has to be aware of their words, of what is being put out there as a, it doesn't matter what you're saying, it's like a mantra or a magic, like your magic spell. What is it you're putting out there? Okay? So no matter what you are speaking, it has weight. Okay, it is what you are trying to construct in the world. So be aware of what is your speech. Is your speech negative all the time? Then wonder why you're in a negative frame of mind. If you are chasing conspiracy theories and darkness all the time, then what is going to be your attitude? Okay? So you get yourself caught up. So once you get past the speech center, then you get to third eye. Okay, what is it you are constructing? What is it you are putting out there more in the etheric realms? Okay? So you're going more from the very solid, what's feeling very solid emotion, to the more etheric emotion the further one goes. Okay, it gets to higher vibrational areas. Okay, so you get to the etheric. What is it that you are connecting with there? Is it higher powers? Is it more looking for the higher wisdom? Or again, are you substantiating fake values, false things, powers, all of that type of drama? Okay. What is it you are constructing? Okay. Last but not least, we get to the Sahasrara. Okay. Or to the isness. When Kundalini completes, okay, when the cobra, Kundalini, cobra, represented by the cobra, finally arises all the way, you get to isness. You get to that completion. Okay, so the Cobra card is change is inevitable, but with it comes the chance to shed a burden. Well, the burden that's shed when Kundalini completes is that false ego identification that dismantles, and one becomes, rather than this ego self of a me, becomes this isness. Okay, that is realization. One goes to the heart of the planetary awareness, that seed of light. which runs like a thread through all religious connotations, through all of life, through all the seen and unseen realms. That isness is what gives rise for the ability for all of these things to manifest. And then all these things have free will as to where it's going to manifest, as to what it's going to take. All energy within itself is neutral. Okay, energy itself is neutral, but depending on the mind that it's coming through, this body that's coming through, the spin gets put on it. Okay, and where they see it as positive or negative. Okay, but within itself it is neutral. Okay, in total balance. When one gets to realization, the false ego identification that is gone, then you reach total balance. This is why when you have someone that's in realization that does energy work, it is in total balance, which can only aid to help to move you to balance, move you through that system. Okay. This is why it's important, if you are in a Kundalini journey, to have a guru that has completed, that can help to anchor that energy for you. When there is a connection with a guru, it helps to anchor that energy as it's unfolding and unwinding and taking you through the different layers of consciousness. Okay? Because, you need to have a good support system, because nobody can walk the journey for you. But you get to some areas of the journey. Like I said, my book is called Hell to Heaven for a reason, because you start out and you have to navigate through hell first before you get to heaven, just as the path of Christ really showed us the path that we walk. At a young age, I asked to walk the path of Christ. I didn't know what I was asking for. Oh, foolish children. But you do the path of Christ. He was there as a way shower. He didn't have it easy. He went out in the wilderness, was tempted by Satan, the ego. You got all this power, just use it, and everything will bow down before you. And no, he's, get behind me, Satan. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. No. Oh, go ahead, use your power, be an egoist. No. Okay? So he walked the path, he gave the light, he gave all the light he could, he gave truth, he gave things, and what happened? He had to go through the scourging. He went through that moment on the cross. Okay? He went through the death before death. He descended to hell for 3 days, and hell could not hold him. And then he went to heaven, hell to heaven. And it does feel, if you are on that journey, sometimes you might get to the dark night of the soul. You have to face the fears. All of the things that you have feared are going to come on you 180%. Okay? So if you can't even deal with fears in your regular life, don't do Kundalini, because it's magnified, and you can't get away from it. You have to discover the way through it. Okay? You have to be able to face these fears, these illusions, these projections, which feel very, very real. Like I said, I make no bones about it. In my last life, I was a monk going through the Kundalini, was told about Chode. I had no idea what it was. In this lifetime, I had that very vivid recollection. I went crazy. I was thinking, oh, this is great. It's symbolic. No problem. Let's do it. Well, it doesn't feel symbolic. It feels real. You feel demons pulling your flesh. I went crazy. Okay? I didn't have guidance, instruction, how to go through that. Okay? How to navigate that. So whatever your particular fear is, it's going to come upon you like gangbusters, and you have to, again, proceed through it encounter it head on and see the illusory nature of it rather than buying into it. Because you buy into it, you give it strength. Okay? And this is how shadows work. This is how the demon, the ego, these negatives work. You give it credence and it becomes more solid. The more credence you give it, the more solid it feels. Okay? Until it's bleeding you dry. So the way to deal with those types of things is to see it and give it no energy. Yeah, okay, I see you. And, okay, you can't give it energy. You can't love it, you can't hate it, you can't fight it. You give it energy. You have to starve it of energy. Starve it of energy, and that takes some time. So these things are going to be coming at you gangbusters for some time, and you have to starve it of energy because it is an energetic power. Okay. Again, if you want to understand the Hinduism, the gods, see them all as various types of energies. They are not, during the Kundalini journey, you can see them as an actual manifestation. Okay, they will project out. If that is where your consciousness, and that's where you've put all your voice, your thing, your consciousness, you're holding to that, yeah, it can project out. You can see it as an actual form. Okay, but these are all energies. Again, if you understand Kali, we have Kali here, we have Kali here. Kali is time. Kali is very fearful, the people that don't understand what it's about. Kali is Kundalini, okay? It's that journey that one makes through there. And again, her foot, Kali's foot, the external manifestation of Kali, you always see her standing on Shiva. Shiva is supine. Okay? Shiva is representative of that God force, that is, that unmanifested divine potential. Okay? That when that energy moves, it comes out into Shakti and manifestation, comes out into the seen world. Okay. If you understand and you've read the Chandipat, you'll understand what Kali is there, that she is Kundalini and she is there to fight the demons. Okay? The last demon, the biggest demon of all, was ego. Okay? So she is the journey back up through and gives you the tools to confront ego, the illusion of ego, the manifestations of ego, the feeling of separation of ego. Okay? So again, people don't understand what is Kali. Kali and the Mahavidyas. The Mahavidyas are the 10 different aspects of Kali. Okay? They don't understand what is that. The Tantra, the things of Kali, the Tantra, they don't, those are the deeper studies. So there was something else I was going to bring out, but it's gone, so it must not be important to this talk. Sometimes it's like that. You get going and it starts taking you in other avenues, that didn't know I was going to get into. But yeah, Kali is that journey of Kundalini. Okay. Oh, the other one just popped in again. So maybe I do need to bring it up. If you read the Tibetan Book of the Dead, what they read to those that are passing out of life, going on their journey, okay, as they go through the more subtle realms, The Tibetan Book of the Dead is a guidebook of Kundalini as well, of the realms, the things one encounters, the hungry ghosts and all these other manifestations. It is a blueprint. When I read it, I was like, come on, people. This is a blueprint of the Kundalini journey. Those that have Kundalini awakenings don't process through this at death. We process through it while we are in form. Okay? Our journey is through those subtle realms while we are embodied in form. Okay? So again, if you want to understand things that you encounter on the Kundalini journey, read the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Okay? Study more about Kali. Okay? And, this is why in the Kali mandirs, and I had somebody, one of these crazy people that's going to out the mandir at, because they have goat sacrifices. Okay? They still do goat sacrifices at the Kali mandirs. She was going to out them for these illegal practices. Well, they've been doing it for centuries. Okay, you can't out something that's done out in the, I'm just like, oh, please. It's that thing of there, that life is there in 1 second and the next second it's gone. So don't lose time. Okay? Don't lose time. Get serious. Do what you need to do now because it's so quickly gone. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to leave this here. I hope somebody has gotten something out of this. Again, like the snake, things are always changing and we're always encountering new experiences. And when you make that ultimate journey, it sheds that the old form. It gets shed. That old perception, that old consciousness gets replaced with something totally new. Okay? So that's the ultimate journey. They ask, someone has asked before, if you can get to realization without Kundalini. The answer to that is no. All the great masters that have entered entered realization, have had Kundalini awakenings, although many of them didn't speak about it much. Okay? But yes, one goes through that Kundalini awakening, that journey of difficulty, because one has to confront and go beyond the illusory to find out what is real and at the primary heart of everything. That bindu, one goes through the yantra backwards. Through the yantra you start on the edges, and it's just like going to Khajuraho. If you've ever been to India and you've gone to Khajuraho, which is the tantric temples, where the guides know nothing about Tantra and they're laughing because there are naked statues on the outside of the temple. They're engaging in sex. They're engaging in all the things of the worldly activities. Okay? And they don't get any of it. They just point and laugh. Look at this. Look at that. Yeah. But there's a lot of very deep meaning in Khajuraho, the mathematics of it, the way it's put together, the joining of the infinite and the worldly. You look at the outside of the temple and it's got all the activities of the world, and you go up the steps of the temple and you go into it and you leave that world behind. You're leaving that behind, that projection behind, all of those things you leave behind. And the further you get into that temple, the more quiet it becomes. until you come to the inner sanctums of those temples, where you have the linga and you have the yoni. Okay? The yoni is that idea of bringing things out to manifestation. The linga, okay, which they want to very wrongly say it's like a penis. It's not like a penis. Okay? All fools of fools. Okay? It's the unmanifest. It's like the egg, the ovum. Okay? The egg, pregnant with what's going to come into being, but it hasn't come into being yet. It's that undefined potential, the zero, which within itself appears to have nothing, but you add it to a 1, it becomes 10. You add another 0, which in itself has no value, it makes it 100, makes it 1,000, makes it 1,000,000, makes it 1,000,000,000. Okay? And once you have the secret of that divine is that 0, you don't become the 1. The 1 can be subdivided. The 0 is never subdivided. Okay? Those that are mathematical minds will understand this. This is how I came into meeting Mr. DeWitt, who is a mathematical genius that rewrote a paper that 15 people in the world would understand. Okay, that's the level of his mathematics. And when I was talking, he said, God is the 0, God cannot be the 1. He perked up and he understood that. You know, he could understand that totally. And so we had some very good conversations. But yeah, that God essence, that God particle, it's quantum, okay? Mind moves things into quantum. That's why I said it's so important what you are speaking, what energy you are putting out into the world. Because what energy you are putting, whatever you are speaking, is your mantra of the day. What is your primary speech? Okay? That's your mantra. That's your, okay? That's where your energy is going. Don't think that just regular words have no value. Okay? It doesn't do you good to sit there and have a recognized mantra if you're going to pollute it with your speech. Okay? So again, keep your temple holy. The body is the temple that holds the spirit. Spirit is found within the heart of being. That's where you start the journey. That's where you end the journey. That's where you find that divine is. You are always able to enter this temple. So keep your temple holy. Keep it sacred. Don't pollute it with drinking alcohol, drugs, cigarettes. Don't pollute the form. Are you going to go to your church and throw cigarettes in there? Okay? Go drink alcohol in there? Okay? Are you going to pollute that sacred space, or are you going to honor it and see it as a sacred space? Okay? The body within itself is not sacred, but that which enlivens it is sacred, and you can have that meeting point within there. You can always go within to commune with God. One is never separate from it. If you were separate from it, you would have no life. You would have no consciousness. If you have consciousness, okay, then there is still God there. You may be fighting with God, being a liar like Trump. He's fighting with God every second of every day, because he thinks he can control everything. He cannot control. And again, you want to keep trying to fight with God, you're going to go crazy in the end. Okay? So don't do it. Don't fight with God. Don't fight with the energy of the universe. Work in harmony with it. Honor it. Okay? Go with the flow of it. So I'm going to leave this here. This wound up being a very long speech. When I start in the morning, I don't have really anything planned to say. The cards give the direction, and then once I go, Spirit takes over, and that's it. We're on the we're on the jaunt. I'm taking the journey. I just get in the boat and tell you what's coming forward, and that's that. Okay. So I hope you've enjoyed this talk from Spirit this morning. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. See you online. Aho. And if you're interested in my book, you can get it on Amazon. It's called Kundalini From Hell to Heaven. It'll give you some idea about what's beneficial on the spiritual journey, what's not. It goes a bit into my spiritual journey, but mainly it's there to aid others in their own spiritual journey. Again, what's beneficial, what's not, what's a hindrance, all of the things that might come up along the way. So thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. See you online. Aho.